Hi there. Welcome to Artist in Residence, living creatively in the middle. I'm Jason Alberty. I am with uh, music producer and electronics countermeasure specialist,
Yes.
Gerard Estella. Where we talk very related, where we discuss what it's like to be a professional creative living in the middle of the country, in the middle of life, in the middle of change. My question for you today
Yes.
is it, as a creative, is it more important to find your niche or to be a generalist?
Oh, good question. I'm going to ask you a question
Yeah.
on that question.
Mhm.
Is it for me to make a living,
What the hell?
or is it for me to express my art?
Why am I holding this yam?
Yeah, I think that's an important thing, an important distinction with this specific program,
Yeah.
because we discuss both of them,
Right.
don't we? I would say for for this program, it's more important to discuss what about professionally to make
Professionally.
money.
Okay. If you in the music industry, that's where I'll start, right? So if we're talking music, and again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't sue me. But start with a general understanding. And by that, I mean a general understanding of your craft. So is it better to be a generalist? Yes.
Mhm.
Is it better to then find your niche? Absolutely. Finding your niche is finding your audience, right? So it's basically a funnel.
So the generalist part is more of a kind of a research, discover what you
That's,
like.
that's the first year, right? So like I'll put it in story time.
So I grew up in New York City, all the rest of that stuff. I'm old as dirt.
Nice.
So there's, well, dude, I mean, I'm just being honest. So synthesizers became a thing, but they made one note at a time. They just started becoming from monophonic to polyphonic, where they make more than one note,
Right.
where you can play more than one key. Oh, and I was like, I don't know, 14, 15. So just messing with knobs in the store, because I couldn't afford one, right? So I'm in the store just messing with knobs. Eventually, my knob shifting around stuff started making sounds happen. And somebody came up from the counter and said, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "School." They were like, "Or you can come to the studio because I need somebody who knows how to do the knobs." That's literally how I started.
So this was a person from the store.
It was actually a producer for an artist who had come to the store because the guy that was supposed to do the gig could not make it in for some reason that I never found out.
So now this is one of those things that I think is also important that we might touch on later. The idea that luck is extremely important, but
Being prepared.
you got to be prepared for that luck. Yeah.
I can say this post because I did not know it then. I just grew up in an area that, and with parents that were like, no, there's no ever no. It's always go, right? Just do something. So that's a upbringing thing. But how this relates to generalists, and let me get back to that. I started by learning how to play piano. And I did the classic thing that everybody did. You took lessons, and then I was in piano recitals, and then competitions, and da da. I don't remember not playing, so I was like 3 when I started. So that has to put it in context a little bit. So bottom line, I was following that journey, which is you're going to be a classical pianist. And my head said, "F no." My fingers were like, not so much, because I was not at all dedicated to the amount of rehearsal and technique and all of that. But what I did find was that I liked playing, but I also like things that go beep, boop, bop, right? And all the rest. So I discovered the world of synthesizers. I started as a generalist. If somebody was to ask me, "Are you a pianist?" My answer is, I play piano, but I'm a keyboardist, right? If they go, "Well, what the heck does that mean?" It's because I know how to make sounds from nothing. If you send me a sine wave or a square wave or a sample, we can do whatever needs to be done. Well, that's pretty niche today, right? It used to be that was the only way you could make sounds. You needed to know what these things did. Now you have presets and pull down menus, and you just move a fader or something on software. And that's very valid and all the rest. And there's great sound design and there's great opportunities that way. But I became more niche without me even knowing that that's what I did, because I was able to make these keyboards make sounds, not for me, but for somebody else to sit down and play them.
Mm.
So I started as a musician and a piano player, pianist, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
I ended up becoming a programmer who kept playing. And then eventually I actually ended up going more information they know, but I ended up working both sides of the glass in a recording studio. So I was session player because they liked what I did and the vibe, and hopefully how quickly I was able to get to something that the producer liked and that the artist went, yeah, that's right. And on the other side of the glass was like, hey, we're trying to do this thing. And I'm like, well, what if we ran it through that filter, run it through this ADSR, whatever.
Mhm.
Let's back in the day when everything was analog, there was no digital, right? So just that experience, I can tell you, being a generalist, I understand the music. I understand the instrument.
Mhm.
I understood the technique, even if I couldn't perform it at the level that the person who's sitting, George Duke
What's up?
sits down at a keyboard that you program. It sounds like George Duke.
Mhm.
Me sitting at a keyboard that I programmed for George Duke sounds like an idiot, right? I'm being dead nuts honest, right? In 2 minutes, jaw drop on the floor, and you're like, oh crap, that dude's got it. Right? So now you go 40 years down the road, and the idea of me being a generalist is just as important now, but I have my niche. So like we're here in the studio, right?
Yeah.
And it's surrounded by analog gear because I know analog gear. I like that.
Yeah.
I like how it works. There's nothing wrong with digital. There's nothing wrong with doing an album on your laptop. Use the tools that you have. They're just tools. But I know what the tools do, right? As a specialist, my niche really is keyboards and acoustic guitars. And what people ask me to do is arrange and compose because of those general skills that I develop these market niches. Right. So if somebody's wanting to start out, it's the same thing. Like everybody will tell you the same. Any instrument instructor will say the same thing. You need to learn the instrument first, then you can go that way. Right. So if you take it in a grander view, understand you got to learn your artistry first. Who are you as an artist? What do you have to say? How do you feel best expressing yourself?
Right.
Spend the time figuring that out by just doing. Don't get so targeted. I'm an R&B singer, or I'm a soul singer, or you know what? There's 12-year-olds all over the internet playing solos that are blazingly technically accurate, crazy. And I'd go, well, they're crazy good. What are they going to do at 25? Where do you go, right?
Yeah.
You're already like, I am Shred King. Can you move it back and go, Steve Lukather, a great example of a session player. If you don't know him, check him out.
Hey,
He's on everything. He's one of the guys that started Toto. I think he was being interviewed, and he actually said this. He made the most money and got paid the most not to play solos, even though you've heard him solo on albums across the world, to play an open G and an A and a D and be that guy playing that rhythm part that the song needs. He goes back to, I'm a guitar player. I'm not a shredder. I'm not a soloist. I play parts. I make music. I think and write parts. And he's absolutely hilarious, by the way, if you YouTube him, right? That's a generalist who became very special. So special that he was the top call guitar player for almost a decade and a half. Him, Tim Pierce, Brent Gatt, those guys. You look at that and go, where did he start? He started by playing, and then he made music. And as dropping the other great piece of wisdom from Dave Grohl, which is be a band in a garage and suck.
Yeah.
And then get better. And eventually you open up the garage door and it's like, there's something that's you guys. There's something unique. Long-winded answer. Start with generalism in your art. Take the time of discovery. Let you figure out what your niche is, because that's where you go.
Yeah.
Not because somebody tells you.
Right.
Right. My, condolences to all the A&R reps that I just pissed off. But, don't worry about what will make it. Be more concerned about what makes you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know this sounds metaphysical or whatever you want to call it, but that's it.
I think it's clear. I think it's clear. It goes back. It's that old adage: a writer reads, a musician listens, a painter looks.
Right.
So,
And all of those, a writer writes 1,000 pieces of shit.
absolutely.
You know, a musician plays 1,000 clunkers and then does another 1,000 and eventually goes, hey, that one actually made sense. And if you play a clunker twice, then hit it the third time and it's so jacked, right? But it's that thing. So yeah. And I don't know anything about painting, but I will say it's the same thing.
That's quite all right. Neither do I. I just like to pretend.
There you go.
Thanks again, G. This has been Artist in Residence, Living Creatively in the Middle. I'm Jason Alberty. I am always talking with Gerard Estella. If you have any questions for us, please leave them in the comments and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Have a great rest of your day.
Peace.